All right, a shalom, call Akim. All praise be to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, who I worship. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone who taught me this word. I want to get into this topic of reincarnation. All right, these people in the other religions, they do not understand that there is such a thing in the Bible of reincarnation. Reincarnation, means back. Carnation means flesh. What goes back in the flesh? Your spirit. You have been here many, many times before. Your spirit. All right. Your spirit has come and gone and come and gone. That's the way the Lord set it up. It's like a spiritual recycling. And there is proof of this in the scriptures. All right. Vocab Malone, he doesn't understand this. He has trouble understanding that. James White will have trouble understanding that. Why? Because these guys are not spiritual men. They're not of the Most High. They're carnal. All right, so they can't understand the deep things in the spirit. So I want to go into a couple of scriptures to prove this point. We're gonna go to Ecclesiastes, the first chapter in the Bible, in the Old Testament, and the ninth verse. It said, "The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." Now, the thing that hath been is you, your spirit that's in your body. Okay? Yeah, you have many different bodies, but it always been the same spirit. All right. It says it is that which shall be, meaning you were born long time. You were sent down by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right, into a body. You had to go through the whole cycle of life. Of course, a man and a woman had to come together to have had you, and after 9 months you were born. That's the way the Lord set it up, and but that happened many times, you know. So the thing is the spirit. You've been before, you know. It is that which shall be, meaning you will come back at another point in life according to the will of the Lord, you know, to live out another life. You know what I'm saying? And it says, and that which is done is that which shall be done. So the things that were done in the past is things that will be done in the future. It may be changed up a little bit, but the idea is still there. All right, the concept is still there. It says, and there is no new thing under the sun. So there ain't no such thing as a newborn baby, because that baby was here, came to earth before in another body. Okay. It says, is there, verse 10, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already. So this baby is speaking of a newborn baby. It is not a newborn baby. All right, that's a misnomer. Newborn baby. That baby came here before. All right, many times over, and died and came back. Died and came back. All right, and it says, is there anything whereof it may be said, this is new? It hath been already of old time. You see, speaking about yourself, your spirit have already been of old time. You have lived many times before, you know, which was before us. Now this is the kicker, verse 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So that's the kicker. See, the Lord put a block. You can't remember who you were in your past lives or what you did. You probably died a horrible death, um or you probably lived a good life, but there is no the only one who knows this is the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, there is no remembering of what happened in the past, but you always got this feeling, right? They call it deja vu, that you knew a person before, that something, you could meet someone that you had never met. You don't know them from Adam, right? But for some reason, it feels like you've known them forever. It could be a woman, it could be, a best friend or something. All right, so that's like, little spiritual proofs of that. But there is no remembrance of that. Now I want to go to let's go to another scripture here. Um, let's go to. Okay, we read that. So let's go to. Let's see here. This is Job, the 19th chapter, and yeah, this is people who are carnal, who are not spiritual, and the Lord's not dealing with them. They're not gonna understand this. Because why is spiritually discerned. Now, this is Job speaking. Job 19, verse 26. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, he was speaking about the current body he had, yet in my flesh shall I see God, or the Most High. Now, how is that possible? If the worms of the current body he had at that point, if the worms destroyed it, how is it that after being destroyed in the flesh he shall see the Most High? I tell you why. Because Job understood he will come back in the future, in the latter days, all right, to see the salvation of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. All right. That's how. Okay. He'll be sent back down to witness and to be a part of that salvation. And verse 27, whom I shall see for myself, Job said, and mine eyes shall behold and not another. You see? But a it's gonna be a different set of eyes, a different body, but his spirit within that body to witness and take part of this salvation, the second advent of the Lord. All right. He's coming only for his the election of the nation of Israel to be saved. And Job is going to be a part of that. And he's going to witness that, okay, with his eyes. Though my reins be consumed within me. All right. So that's another proof in the Old Testament, even of reincarnation. Job saying him being coming back in the flesh to witness in the latter days the salvation and also to take part of the salvation of the Lord. All right. Um. So that's that. Let's go to Revelation, the 10th chapter. Okay. Uh. Revelation. This is John the Revelator, and on the Revelation, not Revelations. This is Saint John, the apostle, on the island of Patmos, and he saw these visions that the Lord gave him. All right. This is Revelation chapter 10, verse 11. And the Lord said to him, the angel said to him, and he said unto me, thou, the angel said, thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. There's no record to show that Saint John the Revelator left the island of Patmos. He was a prisoner. If you go into some history books, the Romans had him, as a prisoner. Some say he was working in the salt mines and stuff on this island, you know, and there's no records of him leaving that island, that position, or records saying that he live all the way up to this day here to see the coming of the Lord. No, he died, man. All right, but he died back there. All right, he passed on. All right, like it says in Ecclesiastes 12:7, the dust shall return unto the earth, and the spirit shall return unto him who gave it. And that's the process right there. All right. So Saint John's spirit went back to the Father. His body went back to the dust, the ground, where he came from, and in the last day, Saint John would be here to witness, all right, the coming of the Lord. and he will prophesy again. He will prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. How can he do that if he passed away back there, and then in the latter days come back to prophesy again before many peoples, nations, tongues, and kings? It's called reincarnation. His spirit being brought back down into the flesh to prophesy again, just like he did before. All right, because there's a scripture that says the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. That means that if you were a prophet in the past, when you come back, when you're reincarnated, then come back in the future, you'll be a prophet also. That's one. That's another scripture. Um, so and last and definitely not the least, there are many scriptures, man. You know, that prove this. Now this is Matthew 17, verse 10. And his disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? And Yahweh shot, they're talking about Malachi, when it spoke about that, that Elijah was to come back, before the end, And it says, and his disciples asked him, saying, why then say the scribes that Elias must first come? And Yahweh Shai, you would say Jesus, but his name is Yahushai, answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already. You see? Elias came already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed, right? Herod had John the Baptist, or let me see, let me say, Herod's brother's wife. I believe her name was her name Herodotus. I forgot her name. Had Elias' head chopped off and be brought to um Herod's brother's wife because he committed adultery. And I'm talking about John the Baptist. I'm talking about John the Baptist. Um, John the Baptist had because John the Baptist cursed Herod out for committing adultery against his brother's wife, and the bitch got mad, and all that. Herod knew that John the Baptist was a prophet, man, and he was shook by that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the Lord said they have done to him whatsoever they listed. They were speaking about John the Baptist. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them. Yeah, speaking about his crucifixion. Verse 13. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist. All right, so that was just a quick little lesson on reincarnation in the scriptures, because these people in these churches, they'll read over that and they have no clue or idea what's that speaking about. Elijah had came, prophesied, did what he had to do, and died long time before that. He came back as John the Baptist. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom to the elect of Israel. Um, keep your studies up, stay sharp, keep your swords sharp. Shalom.